I was shocked, but I wasn't surprised, because if you have peripheral vision, you're going to sense these things out of the corner of your eye. You can't not know that this has been going on rampantly.
Never let anybody tell you you can't do what you in your heart know you can.
We are. Look, I don't really like the term woke because I think it's an umbrella term that I'm not 100% sure I even know what it means, and one could argue that sometimes it's used too liberally. That said, our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world, but the first thing we need to do is entertain.
And the other thing is simply to use what you're using right now to get this interview, and you can make an entire movie on that device right there.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting across. Hold on. Here. Hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
Weird.
Hollywood has always been a place of meteoric rises and devastating falls, but few stories in recent memory have captured public attention like that of Rachel Zegler. Once hailed as the industry's new golden girl, Rachel's rise to stardom seemed like something out of a fairy tale. But just as quickly as she ascended, her image began to unravel, transforming overnight from an adored breakout star to a lightning rod for controversy and criticism. The question everyone's asking: how does a promising career collapse so fast? And is there a way back? Rachel Zegler's journey began with a viral audition clip that caught the attention of none other than Steven Spielberg. Out of tens of thousands of hopefuls, she landed the coveted lead role of Maria in the director's 2021 remake of West Side Story. It was the kind of break that aspiring actors dream about. Rachel wasn't just talented. Critics praised her voice, her presence, and her charisma. Audiences connected with her instantly. In her early interviews, she came off as genuinely overwhelmed by her good fortune, often saying she couldn't believe it was real. It was the classic underdog story, a newcomer plucked from obscurity and launched to stardom by one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. But even at the height of her initial success, there were whispers, quiet, easily dismissed, but present nonetheless. Some described her as unusually assertive for a newcomer. Others hinted at behind-the-scenes friction on set.
That's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her. Far left-wing activists in Hollywood are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Zegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
And there is no resolution in sight for the Walt Disney Company when it comes to Snow White 2025 at the box office. This is exactly why Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, is in pure panic mode over not just the Rachel Zegler backlash, but the entire backlash surrounding this movie in general.
Most people ignored these early warnings, attributing them to growing pains or the pressures of sudden fame. After all, it was hard to imagine anything negative sticking to a fresh-faced, talented star backed by Spielberg himself. But as time would tell, those whispers were just the beginning. As West Side Story's press tour ramped up, rumors from the production began leaking. Unnamed crew members spoke of Rachel clashing with choreographers and delaying shoots over disagreements about creative direction. She reportedly questioned costuming choices, argued over character motivations, and challenged choreography notes. While some framed it as a sign of passion or competence, others began labeling her difficult to work with. The Spielberg camp remained publicly supportive, at least at first, but insiders claimed that his patience was being tested. Behind the scenes, Spielberg is known for cultivating young talent with kindness and care. He's famously worked with child actors and newcomers, helping to shape them into stars. But according to insiders, this experience was different. They say Rachel's strong-willed nature and insistence on creative control clashed with Spielberg's collaborative style. Some alleged he began distancing himself from her during press events, offering lavish praise to co-star Ariana DeBose while offering Rachel only faint acknowledgments. His silence on the matter spoke volumes. In an industry where every gesture is analyzed, his lack of public defense became a red flag. Despite the backstage drama, Rachel's career appeared to be on the upswing. In 2022, she was cast as Snow White in Disney's ambitious live-action remake, a project with a massive $250 million budget and high expectations.
Okie dokie. I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. Oh, sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two. Okay.
Saying that Audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she
But at
does.
every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all of this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
This role was meant to be her definitive leap into superstardom, following the footsteps of Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast or Lily James in Cinderella. But almost immediately, things began to go wrong. The film became embroiled in controversy for modernizing classic elements, replacing the seven dwarfs with magical beings and significantly altering the romantic storyline. Rachel's own public comments only added fuel to the fire. She referred to the original Snow White as creepy, and labeled the classic prince character a stalker. These statements were met with a firestorm of backlash. Disney fans, nostalgic for the original tale, were appalled. Rachel's attempt to sound progressive and modern instead came off to many as disrespectful. Clips of her interviews spread like wildfire across social media, and what had started as criticism quickly morphed into online outrage. By the time the film hit theaters, the damage was done. The live-action Snow White was a box office catastrophe. Critics panned the movie for being overly sanitized and politically correct, with Rachel's performance singled out for lacking emotional depth. Disney executives reportedly held emergency meetings in the wake of the film's failure. What was supposed to be a guaranteed hit had turned into a PR nightmare. And once again, Rachel's name was at the center of it all.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
What made the fallout worse was Rachel's response, or lack thereof. While most actors in her position might have attempted some kind of damage control, Rachel seemed defensive and dismissive. In one interview, she partially blamed the film's failure on audience interest in the upcoming Minecraft movie, a statement that was instantly mocked and turned into a meme across TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Instead of taking responsibility or expressing regret, Rachel appeared to deflect. The internet, already irritated by her earlier comments, pounced. Memes of Minecraft characters toppling Snow White went viral. Satirical content creators had a field day, portraying her as out of touch and arrogant.
And how humiliating this is. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
From a PR perspective, it was a disaster. What could have been a moment of learning and redemption became a cautionary tale in how not to handle public backlash. Rachel pulled away from press opportunities and avoided major interviews, further fueling the perception that she only showed up when things were going well. Critics began using her own words against her, painting her as ungrateful and tone-deaf. Even fans who had once rooted for her started to question whether they had been duped by slick studio marketing and PR spin. And through all of this, one person's silence loomed large: Steven Spielberg. Despite being the man who discovered Rachel and gave her the role of a lifetime, he has never publicly defended her amid the mounting controversies. Industry watchers began analyzing old press events, dissecting every look, gesture, and phrasing for clues about his true feelings. While he openly celebrated Ariana DeBose's success, Rachel received only minimal acknowledgement. The message was clear: if Spielberg had anything good to say, he would have said it by now. In Hollywood, perception is everything, and Spielberg's silence, whether intentional or not, has had a massive impact. When a legend refuses to vouch for you, others take note. According to insiders, producers and casting directors have grown wary. Some say Rachel has already been quietly removed from potential casting shortlists. In an industry built on relationships and reputation, a rumor, especially one involving someone as respected as Spielberg, can be more damaging than any official blacklist. Now, Rachel Zegler finds herself at a crossroads. With two major studios, Disney and Spielberg's Amblin, allegedly burned by their experiences with her, the question is, can she rebuild? Some argue that a redemption arc is still possible. Hollywood has forgiven far worse when a star shows genuine humility and growth. Perhaps if Rachel pivots to smaller indie roles, shows contrition, and reconnects with audiences on a human level, she could write a second chapter to her story. But others believe the damage is done, that the combination of backstage rumors, box office business failure, and poor handling of public perception has left an unshakable mark. Whether or not every rumor is true may not matter as much as how they've shaped her image. And in an age of viral media and cancel culture, image is everything. Rachel Zegler's story isn't over, but it's already become a cautionary tale, a case study in how quickly the winds of Hollywood can shift. From a viral audition to a Disney disaster, from Spielberg's protege to internet punching bag, her journey reveals just how fragile fame can be. In the end, the spotlight is a double-edged sword. It can illuminate greatness, or magnify every flaw. Whether Rachel will rise again or fade into Hollywood memory remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the world will be watching.